Think of one unexpected benefit from a customer conversation.
About, got to be 5 years ago maybe. I was speaking with a customer, I will only say at a very, very, very large enterprise. And not a software vendor, a different one. And we were talking about essentially how companies kind of work, I guess. And the first thing he told me was, remember one thing, which I actually knew the answer to already, but he went, remember one thing, the first thing you're going to deal with at a company is always the politics. And I said, well, I know what I mean by that, but what do you mean by that? He said, every person that you're ever going to meet is going to have some agenda that you're going to have to deal with. So he said that the best thing you could do, he said, especially this company, is figure out a way to either deal with the agenda or push it aside. And that was, I've never heard a customer in my life, look, there's a lot of astute comments I've gotten from customers. That was singularly the single most astute comment I ever heard from a customer. And actually at that particular company was, I can't even tell you how perfect the advice turned out to be, because I basically spent 3 months either hearing the agenda and pushing it aside, or taking the agenda in and helping the person deal with it. And the result was perfect.
I want to dig into that a little bit. Hold on. Because one of the things that a lot of people are missing in this whole selling of different technologies for customer engagement and customer conversations is there is an individual behind it that has an agenda, like you just said. So here's, I guess, the deeper question on that. How do you understand what that agenda is? I mean, do you just both ask, what do you need, what do you want?
Well, you actually have to take it a little more broadly than just because when you're talking about agendas, that tends to sound kind of venal, right? But it's really not. What it really means is every human, everybody on the planet, self-interested. Just normal to be self-interested. You have your own life and you want to live a happy life and you want to go on the journey you want to go on in that life, period. We're all like that. So, if you're actually understanding how to sell to a customer, let's say, is you're not selling to the customer for the benefit of the company, you're selling to the customer for the benefit of the company and that individual. Meaning, there has to be an outcome that customer sees as beneficial to themselves. Consequently, you know how you find out about it? You ask, and they'll tell you. And I'll give you an example. This is a whole other story. About 2 years ago, I was at a party, and there was this pretty VIP-ish party, and there was about 3 or 4 Fortune 500 CEOs there. And I was chatting one up who swore me to secrecy, but I said, but I can tell you this one. And I said to him, and this guy was like super tech savvy. And I said to him, well, okay, so you're the buyer. I was asking him a hypothetical question. You're the buyer. I said, you got 2 solutions in front of you. One is 100% beneficial to the company, but not to you. Now, obviously, that's purely fictional because he's CEO, so if it's 100% beneficial to the company, he's going to, at least from a halo effect, benefit from it. But for the purposes of this thing, 100% beneficial to the company, not to you at all. And the other one was 80% beneficial to the company, but beneficial to you too. Which do you choose? He said, without even, I mean, it wasn't even like making believe he was thinking about it. He just said, the second one, like that. I mean, it didn't, no hesitation, zero. That's what I'm saying. He understands that self-interest governs things. That's why if you're selling contemporarily, you're selling to outcomes. You're not selling to features and functions, right? You're selling to outcomes. And if you're smart, that's what you do. If you're stupid, you sell features and functions, right? Smart salespeople now are finding out what the customer's what the benefit is to the company and the individual you're selling to, and figure out how this serves the outcomes they're looking for.
That was awesome, Paul. As always, you were awesome. Thanks for your time.
It's always my pleasure, sir.